Well, now we can basically see all the settlements that have already been liberated. Well, the ones closest to us that have been liberated are Cherkasskoye Porosnoye, and on the left side there's Martinovka. Further on from there, there's a whole agglomeration. In short, true, Kositsa, Kubatkin, Zazulevka. Then above there's Malaya Leknya and below Kazakia Leknya. All these settlements, which for 7 months remained under, let's say, the control of the enemy, are now liberated. Here is Cherkasskoye Porosnoye. This is where we had very heavy fighting, really very heavy fighting.
On the map, it's a small settlement, so it's hard to imagine such intense fighting there.
On the map, it's one thing, but in reality, our guys gave their lives for this settlement, and they were very honorable and genuine, let's say. Everywhere you see all this equipment, it's what we destroyed.
So we hadn't entered here until today, right before these battles?
Before these events, to be honest, Cherkasskoye Porosnoye, it changed hands several times because our guys would enter, as they say, clear the first streets.
And are there any here?
There are no people here, no residents. Over there. The scenery isn't very bright either. Well, I'll show you the church now. Here, the equipment too, see what it's like. Hey guys! How are you doing?
Holding on. Pretty well, you know.
Yes. Still. Defended the basements, but today we also rescued 2 prisoners. Well done. Well done. The guys are doing their job with dignity, really. You guys are amazing and truly heroic. These are our heroes, you see? Heroes from all units, from all regions of Russia.
And you are here, yes, in this area now? Yes, now for the cleanup.
You're doing the cleanup? Yes, completely every basement. Imagine, the village was taken several days ago, and today we pulled 2 prisoners out of one of the basements. So every basement needs to be checked, every nook, every hole needs to be inspected.
Look at the level of destruction. But you still need to get in there. There's not much around the temple. So they were hitting the temple?
Yes, they were hitting the temple.
But the temple itself is very beautiful. Look at these frescoes.
The temple was very good, painted. It was a beautiful temple. But as you can see, now it is in such a state.
We are now in the main temple of this settlement, the destroyed Amvon. Unfortunately, the temple is completely shattered and
one of the load-bearing walls is simply missing.
And when the guys were clearing the block, they came in. There was the body of a priest below who met his death. Right here, and probably his last battle. Right here, within the walls of his native temple.
We will, of course, restore all of this. The most important thing is, as they say, it is really what we see is how filthy people came to our land, it turns out. They spared neither people nor temples. No, they have nothing sacred, no God, nothing else they might believe in. Perhaps this is the result, it turns out.
Cherkasskaya Porosnaya, just a few days. As it is truly ours, here you can still hear all the sounds of arrivals and exhausts, both from our side and not from our side. Everything is completely wrecked. Houses are damaged. Not a single intact house. We just saw a destroyed church. Our guys, including those who are subordinates, under the command of a wonderful commander, our dear friend, hero of Russia.
Our esteemed one.
She forgot the name.
She forgot my name, that's why she takes so long to draw everything.
Apteronik is showing us around, although it's still very dangerous to be here. The spirit of freedom, the spirit that this is our native land and our homes, is already felt. And the guys are in high spirits. A deep bow to everyone who stood to the death for this land, absolutely to the death. Heroically, our guys, the lads, just a deep bow to them and most importantly to their families.
God is one. And you know, it's especially interesting to observe when you return at night from some task. At around 2 or 3 in the morning, we are located, one in the chapel, one in the mosque. They fight together, eat together, heal together, pray together. Well, now I'll show how they gave. Here is an 18th century icon that was saved in the summer of 2022 in the village of Klinovo, the settlement of Klinovo, where the Ukrainians specifically fired. Holy places. The chapel next to the school caught fire, and our guys, despite perhaps having a different religion and faith as everyone is used to, pulled church items out of the burning building. They themselves got burnt. Some were injured. As of today, this icon is with us. During Easter and in the park, we were given the icon of George Donos. The only thing we know about it is that it's from the 19th century. I think each of you here felt the energy. Services often take place here, chapels, mosques. Confessions, communions, and what is needed for our guys, right? Good human relations, decent medical care, and the opportunity to be with God. Just last week, Trump turned planes around in the air, impulsively, expressively, beautifully. He did it. Today, the Polish Prime Minister confirms that arms supplies have resumed across the border. What is this?
Well, you know, they can supply them with anything. It won't change anything. The only thing that can stop them is if we stop and give them a chance to regroup. In this case, America is trying to gain direct economic advantages from Ukraine. I can say that the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation is the most capable ministry today in the world, so we will do our job, I think. 2 words on the matter. John Taranovich, the Special Forces fighters of Akhmat, we saw abandoned soldiers who essentially had no communication, who were not even deemed necessary to be informed that they were leaving. The other units, whoever could, basically even forgetting about their comrades, just took off and ran away. We must be prepared for the fact that somewhere in the basements, somewhere else in some dugouts, we will be finding some isolated groups there over these days, perhaps, clearing out all these forest plantations. Well, I think this is work for the next 10 days at most. From all sides, Sudza itself is surrounded, and inside Sudza, a cleanup is underway. And all the settlements that are part of the territory of the Russian Federation, in principle, we can already state that they have been liberated. The agreement we had with someone called the Pipe and the work of the Russian soldier led to the Ukrainians and their formations. Cowardly fleeing, leaving everything behind here, blowing up bridges as they went. The Supreme Commander-in-Chief clearly stated his position a month ago. We are ready for the cessation of hostilities if all points of our interests are taken into account. The liberation of all 4 regions that are constitutionally Russian. Second, this demilitarization of the territory of Ukraine. Third, that means guarantees that Ukraine will never again attempt to join NATO, and it will not